Hey guys, clients pay invoices, but fans bring their friends. So do you have clients or do you have fans? We want you to start creating fans, leading a tribe, being the spearhead of your community, of your movement. That's why I asked something special to be here because he knows how to do that. He spotted the online marketing revolution before anyone else. He wrote the new rules of marketing and PR, 500,000 plus copies, 29 languages. He now argues that the pendulum swung too far into shallow digital. The antidote is fans. So, welcome, David Merman Scott. How do we get to fans?
Hey, Simon, it's so great to be here. The basic answer is have a genuine human connection with those customers who send invoices to you, who you send invoices to. Have a genuine human connection with them. And that's the basic overview of how to build fans. Many, many, many details involved, but people want to do business with people. They don't want to do business with machines. They want to do business with people.
I like that because it is in reach of everybody listening. We just have to break it
Absolutely.
down into the single nitty-gritty elements. Where do we even start?
Well, one thing seems obvious, but is important, is that the way that you show up to your potential or existing customers needs to be in a human way. So some really simple ideas that you can do right now are to remove all of the stock photos, all of the AI generated photos, all of the AI generated video of that are representing people in your marketing, on your website, and so on. Because what you want to do is have real people, real customers, real employees, the real people who you are trying to reach and the real people who you work with. Yet what I've seen is so many organizations on their website, in their marketing, on their social media, in their if they're doing print materials, what they do is use stock photos, random people. But you need to show your own people and build that humanity into it. That's the first idea. Second idea for the human connection is, can you meet in person with people? Can you hold a conference, perhaps? For example, I'm on the HubSpot board of advisors, marketing, sales, and customer support, B2B software product. When I joined their advisory board a long time ago, they had just started, $250,000 in revenue, 8 employees. Now they have $3 billion in revenue. They have 8,000 employees. I've been with them the whole time. They have a fabulous conference called HubSpot Unbound. It used to be called Inbound. They changed it to Unbound. And they have regional events as well. It's where you can go to physically get together with people who are just like you. And that's the idea of a conference or bringing people together in a different way. How can you get people who have a like-minded thinking about something, put them together in a room, because that human connection is super powerful.
How does it feel right now to be on the board? This is a side conversation, but I have to ask, of a software company.
I'm on the advisory board of many software companies and have been. And I love it because it's interesting for me to be able to provide my advice to the management team of these organizations. And my favorite of all of the organizations that I've worked with is HubSpot, simply because I joined them so early in 2007. They were founded in 2006, and I've been working with them ever since. I'm speaking at their next event, which is HubSpot Unbound in September of 2026. And it's just great to see their progress and to have worked with them throughout their history and I understand some of the things that we've done together to have that incredible success. And many of it are based on this idea that we're talking about right now, Simon, this idea of building fans. I'll give you one more example from HubSpot, and that is that they have a ton of free content. And one of the forms of content that I think is so cool is they have something called HubSpot Academy. HubSpot Academy, you can get free online courses. You don't even have to be a client of HubSpot. Anybody can sign up for these free online courses, and they provide details on all kinds of marketing and sales and customer support and AI and strategy and social media, all kinds of different topics that you can have those free courses and you can learn. And that's provided by HubSpot as a tool for people to learn. And then, of course, because they then become fans of HubSpot because they get this free content, if they do need to buy some software to help them with their marketing, sales, customer support, they will consider HubSpot. So it leads to sales.
And right now, the markets are saying all software is dead. People will make up their software on their own. Now, this is the moment. One part will be, and I'm sure you guys are discussing this, business model innovation, but one part is actually the community that can save you or can be that supportive strategic advantage, actually.
Yeah, I think that's right. And one of the elements that's so fascinating about this idea of fandom, I've been studying fandom now for almost 20 years. It's so fascinating to me. I'm a huge fan of the Grateful Dead. I wrote a book called Marketing Lessons from the Grateful Dead. I'm a huge fan of the Apollo Lunar Program. I wrote a book called Marketing the Moon about the marketing aspects of the Apollo Lunar Program. And with my daughter Reiko, I wrote this book called Fanocracy, turning customers into fans and fans into customers. And the idea of fandom is absolutely the idea that when people become your fans, like Simon, I know you've got a lot of fans of your podcast, they're more likely to stick with you than if they're just buying a product or service that's interchangeable from another company. So what that translates to in the question that you asked around artificial intelligence and the idea that you can just make your own software is if an organization builds fans around their software product, they're much more likely to keep customers than if it's just a transaction and you don't know anything about what's going on in that company that you do business with. It's much more likely that you're going to stick with an organization if they've treated you right, if they've made a fan out of you, than to change. And I'll add one more thing about this idea of that many people are saying is that all software is going away. I actually don't believe that, because I think certainly in the case of enterprise business-to-business software that runs important aspects of an organization's infrastructure, whether it's marketing or sales or customer support or finance or accounting or logistics or whatever that company is doing, I'm not sure that that their potential customers yet are ready to switch from a robust software application that they're already using to something that they just made up. It's currently pretty risky to do that for those very, very important aspects of business, whether that's accounting or their customer relationship management software, all of the data around their customers. Do you want to just throw that into the cloud somewhere and have that be used through a software product that you make? Well, sure, you can try that, but in my mind, that's pretty risky. And I'm not seeing that many companies who are trying that quite yet. So I don't believe in this idea that all enterprise B2B software is going away. I actually think the opposite. I think the smart companies in B2B software are the ones that are going to figure out ways that they can still have those customers in an era where they can create AI tools. I think the AI tools will be the things that will access the data that's stored in those robust solutions.
I saw it in my world. I sent a terrible email because, yes, I'm starting to use AI agents and they're not yet really, really reliable. So I sent
Yeah.
the wrong email to the wrong person in the wrong tone. And
Oh
I didn't
no.
even know, oh yeah, the worst thing that you can do happened to me last week. And then I got 2, 3 emails back saying, Simon, I think your agents are doing stuff that you don't want them to do. So I
Ah.
realized, okay, so in your language, this is not just transactional people. They actually care about telling me about it, and they didn't hate
Yes.
it. They just said,
Yeah.
okay, I see you are doing something that it's nuts, and come on, get your stuff together. I don't think you want to
Right.
keep that going. So it was a very nice reaction, uh, because there is more than just transaction going on. There is
Right.
relationship, right?
And I think that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When you have fans, when people genuinely like to do business with you as a person or as people, they're willing to say, hey, maybe you made a little mistake here, or maybe your agent has gone rogue, or maybe something's going on that you don't know about, or maybe you've been hacked and something happened. And your fans are willing to tell you about that. If you don't have fans, people are just either going to go online and say bad things about you, or just quietly cancel their agreement with you and move on to another company. So what you're describing is exactly one of the outcomes of having fans.
And you are. Tell us first about Fanocracy and why did it become a Wall Street Journal bestseller?
So, Fanocracy, I wrote with my daughter Reiko. At the time, she was in medical school in her mid 20s. And I wanted to look at fandom from a couple of different perspectives. So, the perspective of me, middle aged, white American, the perspective of my daughter, a young millennial, half Asian woman, and I love things that she doesn't necessarily like. She loves things like Korean pop music, K-pop, that I don't particularly like. So we came together to write this book. And we looked at the neuroscience aspects of fandom. And we learned by studying this that the idea of being a fan is actually hardwired in our brains as humans, because we all want to be part of a tribe of like-minded people. And we want to be part of a tribe of like-minded people because it's actually a survival technique. It goes back tens of thousands of generations in human history. Because when you're with your tribe, when you're with the people that you're comfortable with, the people that are parts of your group, and in the early days it was your family group, then you're safe and you're comfortable. And the same thing is true today. When you're in a fandom community of something that you love. So for example, I love to surf, and when I'm in the water with my surfing friends, I'm safe and comfortable. I know they'll come to my rescue if I get into trouble. When I'm at a Grateful Dead concert, I know that I can talk to anybody there because we're part of the same tribe and say, hey, how's it going? Have you seen the band recently? What's your favorite song? Things like that. So that's actually part of neuroscience, that we want that kind of human connection. So understanding why that's important is part of the way that you can then develop the kinds of fandom that will build that tribe of like-minded people that will then be with you even when things go wrong.
And I don't know if you want to disclose it already, but there will be a next book. You are cooking. Do
Yes.
you want to talk
Yes,
about it?
yes. It's in the process now. It's going to come out in October of 2026. It's called The Fandom Playbook. Now, what happened as Fanocracy came out, here's Fanocracy right here, and my daughter and I talked a lot about how and why people become fans of something. We have many examples of fandom. But what people said to me, they said, David, I love your marketing lessons from the Grateful Dead book. I love your Marketing the Moon book, this Fanocracy book. You talk about building fans. I love it. I'm building fans too. But I want more details on specifically what I can do to build fans. So the Fandom Playbook, which is coming out in October, is an answer to that. It's an actual step-by-step process for how any organization, B2B, B2C, nonprofit, doesn't matter, any organization can build fans. And I've got examples and I've got step-by-step process for, I call them plays. There's about 9 plays, and it's you can pick and choose. And most people I recommend do 2 or 3. Not all of them, it's too much, 2 or 3 of the plays, and then I provide the details on how to do that.
People need playbooks. And in preparation, I went to your website, and it's davidmeermanscott.com, and of course it's on HubSpot. And
yes, of course it is.
on brand, as it should be. And then I saw this beautiful blueprint here, and it was downloaded so many times. Should we talk about this? What's on the left side?
Sure.
What's on the right side?
Yeah, so it has been downloaded over 1 million times, which is remarkable. I think it's been updated maybe a dozen times, but I did it with my friends at Blue Wire Media. They're based in Australia, because we wanted to come up with a one sheet, just one piece of paper, 2-sided, or a PDF 2-page that outlines the idea of how online marketing can help to build fans. So on one side is basically a flow chart, the things that you do on the left, then how people interact in the middle, and then what the outcomes are on the right. And then the idea of how you can implement those ideas on the other side so you can actually create some of these strategies. And it's just designed as a one-sheet, call it a playbook if you want, but a one-sheet playbook on how you can use online marketing and social media marketing to build fans.
It is. So on the left side, it's the inputs, right? On the right, the outputs. And so we pick 3 on the left side, like podcasting, sponsorships, and testimonials, for example.
That's one way to do it. And this is not related to the Fandom Playbook, but absolutely, I never recommend trying to do everything. Just do a few things, do them really well. Podcasting, just like you're doing, as an example, and that will help you to build fans.
Which of these things are least replaceable by AI?
The in-person connection is something that I'm just so fascinated by, that it doesn't matter what kind of organization it is. If you can build in-person connections, people know who you are, and that's a really big step to grow fans. And it's true of any kind of business. One of my favorite examples is an insurance company. They're called Hagerty Insurance. They're the largest classic car insurance company in the world. And they insure something like 3 million classic cars. So what they do is they go to classic car shows, classic car auctions. They host ways that people who own these cars can get together to talk about the cars that they love. And because what they've done is bring together a community of people in person around the thing that they love, in this case, classic cars, people then come together. They remember that Hagerty brought them together. Now, they are an insurance company. They sell insurance. It's a product that everybody hates. In my conferences, when I'm speaking, I say, do you love car insurance? Raise your hand. Nobody raises their hand. It's a product category that people hate. They hate spending money on it, and even worse is to use the product because it means you crashed your car. Oh my gosh. Yet, Hagerty has millions of fans. They have over 1 million people who subscribe to their YouTube channel. They have something like 1 million members of their drivers club. And these people support them. Even if there's a cheaper insurance company that comes along, most of them will stick with Haggerty because they're the company that brings people together physically. So I think that AI is not going to replace this idea that a genuine human connection, face to face, people to people, is a really, really strong way to build fans. And as people are jumping into, and I'm on the board of a couple of AI companies, I get it. I use AI every day. It's important. It's a super cool tool. However, if everyone is doing AI, great, you should probably do it too. But go back to that human connection, because that's one of the things that people are not doing as much now, and there is an advantage in doing it.
If somebody's listening and they're a very small team and they're maybe accountants, they go, okay, I'm like that insurer, but I don't have the budget to do huge events. Where can I start?
Well, it doesn't need to actually be a huge budget to just get people together. So if you're in a team of accountants, you could create a sort of a group that comes together. You can talk about tax planning. You can talk about whatever it might be. And just do it in your office or do it at a local restaurant. It doesn't have to be a big conference. It doesn't have to be expensive. But bringing people together can be a very, very powerful way to build fans. And of course, you can do it virtually too. You can hold a Zoom event. You can do things like that. But I think that in-person connection is important. I'll add one more thing. It's a part of a different play. And the play is, do you have any proprietary data that you can provide for free that will help to build fans? And I'm going to go back to Haggerty for an example of this. Haggerty, the insurance company for classic cars. The people, and I've spoken with McKeel Haggerty, the entrepreneurial owner of the company, a couple of different times. They're publicly traded now. They're the largest classic car insurance company in the world. So I had a number of chances to speak with McKeel, and it's been great to get to know him. But one thing they noticed about their business is they had more data on the price of classic cars than any organization in the world. Why? Because they insure something like 3 million classic cars. So they know the price of a 1973 Land Rover, of a 1961 Porsche. They know the prices because that's the actual value that people are insuring their cars for. And so most companies that have that kind of data just have it locked away somewhere in their corporate vault. But what Haggerty did, and what I recommend, this is a play which is provide data to people for free. Haggerty created a database that anybody can access, and you can find out the value of your classic car. And so people who are not even Haggerty customers, oh my gosh, this is how much my car is worth. Who is this company, Haggerty? Oh, they do insurance. That's interesting. And so this is a great lead source for Haggerty. So I recommend for the accountant that you just asked about, what about a small accounting company? Do you have any data that you could provide? You know, the best tax strategies in the local area that you are providing your services in based on the aggregated data of your clients. Now, I'm not suggesting that you give away any secret information about your clients, but if you aggregate it all, you can figure out perhaps that these are the sorts of information that you could provide for free to people. So that's a play that I love, is this idea of giving away free content and valuable content as a way to build fans.
I love this. And you and I are doing it right now. Thank you for doing it.
We're doing it right now, Simon. Here we are creating content. Absolutely.
So, David, this is amazing. And it's David Meerman Scott, everybody. Where can people find you? Where should they go to learn more about you?
So interestingly, my middle name is Meerman, M-E-E-R-M-A-N. And when I first started my business about 25 years ago, the very beginning of search engines. Google didn't exist yet. It was Yahoo and a few others. And I went to the search engine, I typed David Scott, which is my name. And a whole bunch of other David Scotts came up. So that's how I started using my middle name, David Meerman Scott. I'm the only David Meerman Scott in the world. And so if you enter my full name, I come up. So that's the best way to reach me, David Meerman Scott. Find me, my website, my LinkedIn, whatever it might be. But it's also a bit of a lesson that if people can't find you, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So any company name, product name that you ever use, you should try to make that unique on the web. And if you perhaps want to use your middle name or some other way that people can find you personally, that's also something that's very valuable.
Thank you for that bonus tactic. David Meerman Scott, everyone, please come back soon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Simon, for having me on. Take care.